voice of the Valley, AM 1450 KBMW. Turnable Office here with another edition of the Snap Spotlight, brought to you by Snap Fitness in Wapaton, your locally owned gym in Wapaton. And we got North Dakota State College of Science representative today. We got head coach Eric Issendorf. How's it going today, Coach Izzy?
Yeah, great, Turner. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you could make it in. Not really feeling the best, but you know, the football coach, you played football. You're a tough guy. I know you're going to fight through it.
Yeah, that's right. You just got to push through and make the best of it. Yeah.
I'm going to accuse you of maybe faking the illness. Show everyone, you know, I'm battling through it. What do you got? What's your excuse, everybody? If anybody's battling through an injury or anything.
Yeah.
So you guys are off to another great start to the season. A historically good program, and you guys haven't had a bad season yet under your tenure. Very happy to see that so far for you guys.
Yeah, well, I've been fortunate to have a lot of really good student athletes and, you know, great administration and facilities. So, you know, the winning tradition just continues. I'm just leading it.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, how's the start of the season been so far? You only got the one loss so far, and you guys have kind of rolled through the rest of the teams you've played so far.
Yeah, you know, the first, you know, our 3 wins have come up against, you know, good opponents. They're struggling a little bit with each program. I know Vermilion just hired their head coach in June, so they had a tough task of assembling a team. It was a disappointing loss against Fergus Falls. I thought we executed really well in the first half, and then just didn't quite execute and finish the way that we should in the second. And you know, it's a good check for our team, and it's going to test, you know, how we go about things the rest of the way, and you know, just I think we'll just use it as a learning experience. Yeah,
it's kind of funny how the schedule shakes out some years. You guys have your home finale coming up, and it's only the fifth game of the season, so that's kind of unfortunate. But I guess you could say you're kind of lucky to have so many home games at the front end of the schedule.
Yeah, but you know, it's nice to have you know, that opportunity just to be home early and have that, you know, kind of work some of the kinks out, so to speak, you know, early before we hit a really tough stretch in the season. We'll end up traveling 2 more games over 5 hours away. So those are tough. Those are down and back events, and you know, so our guys got to be prepared. So I thought last weekend we did a good job with Vermilion, just getting that kind of out of the way, that whole trip and how it works and just some of the, you know, just the formality things before a game, right? Just to get through it. So it's nice to be back home. It's homecoming. We're really excited about Central Lakes coming to town and all the inductees of our Hall of Fame. Really excited to, you know, kind of finish it off hopefully with a win against Central Lakes and then, you know, celebrate those that are being inducted.
How much fun is it for the guys to get all this other stuff at the homecoming week thrown in as well?
Yeah, I think, you know, the guys are taking it well. You know, school and football is a balance. There's a lot of different requirements, you know, that go along with it. And so I think they mix in a little bit of social life too, but we've been trying to keep them focused and really disciplined with the task at hand and a good Central Lakes team that's always well prepared and is going to come in and give us a task and a challenge.
Yeah, I always tell, whenever I talk to the high school coaches, I always tell them, well, I'm sure it's the message is to the kids that you got to keep telling them there's a homecoming week for a reason because it's all about the homecoming game. So that's what the first focus has got to be.
Yeah, and you know, Coach Pace has done her job and gotten her win. So it's always, you know, I try to find a little bit of competition in that too, and we're all kind of chasing Coach Pace and accolades. So hopefully we won't disappoint. I know our kids will be ready and you know, ready for a challenge again, and we'll just see how they respond.
That must have added a little bit to the pressure when you took this job. Jumping in, you see all these other programs are doing so well. You know, Dryburgh was with the women at the time, and then Stu Engen, of course, and Pesa, like you mentioned before. And I'm sure it's exciting that you could kind of keep the level up as well for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sets the bar. And, you know, I've been a part of this program for a long time. I graduated from here and played in 92, 93. So there's a long tradition and history going back to, you know, Earl Butte and and those early years too. So just trying to keep the torch going and not let anybody down.
I'm sure that first year that you were at the helm of the program must have just probably been one of the more stressful years of your life. Now that you've got a few years under your belt, what do you think is something that is, I'm not going to really say easier, but something that's not as much of an adjustment now that you kind of you've been around the block for long enough?
I think just, knowing the procedures of everything and how it kind of goes through day by day, month by month, year by year. So you kind of know the calendar of events and can kind of anticipate and prepare your program for all those different things. So I think just taking out some of the guess of, am I doing this right? Is this how it's supposed to be done? Asking a lot of questions. Now I have a lot of answers to those questions, and it just makes things, a little bit smoother. And but there's always challenges, and I'm always learning every day. Every day is a different experience, and that's what comes with the job, and I think that's why it's so exciting.
What do you think is the big thing that is different about this year's team from the other ones that you've been the head coach of? I know you're kind of midway through the season, so kind of hard to nail that down, but what's something that maybe stands or helps this group set itself apart from the other ones?
Sure. The talent level, and I think the intelligence of our kids, of our student athletes, I think is just at a little bit different level. Now they have to learn how to use that to compete at a high level. We've had some other teams that have played at a really high level against some really high caliber opponents, and this team's no different. We're going to see that now with Central Lakes, and then we got Rochester on the road, which is another ranked team, and then going up to Mesabi, which has a good track record as well of tough games, playing us tough. So the talent level that we have is as good as it's been, especially at the quarterback position. I think with Graydon and Drew, both are really, really talented players, and different quarterbacks, but they bring a really good game with them. And anytime you have a leader, you see that at the NFL, at the college level. I mean, when you got that leader at that position, that's a big deal and a real positive for your team. So at the quarterback position, and then we really tried to get deeper in our backfield, and I think you're seeing that. You're seeing a lot of touches, not one guy just handling the load, but there's a lot of guys at that running back position, and just develop the other ones that have been here too. That consistency of winning, and it's kind of our philosophy is win the day by day, and it kind of goes like Groundhog's Day, right? It's kind of almost the same process every day, every week, and you got to kind of fall in love with that process to be able to stay focused and play at a really high level. And that's what these kids are learning, and hopefully we're playing our best football in these coming weeks. And keeping that focus on the field as well as off the field. What's some stuff that a little bit of a community involvement you guys have done lately? I know that was a big emphasis for you coming into this year. Yeah, I appreciate that. COVID has set us back a little bit with some of our social engagement. And, in 2020 was kind of a total loss. And then 2021 was figuring out, okay, what's acceptable and what's not. And so we pulled back a little bit last year with some of our community involvement with our young people, and that's going to recess or having a youth camp. And this year we did that. We had a youth camp prior to the Fergus Falls game, which was great. We had probably 60, 70 kids from the area that came, and it's good for our players to see that and make those connections, and then get those get them back and their families back in the stands to support us as a community. We also went to the opening day of school and welcomed the the elementary and middle school, I believe, students, that day. And it wasn't just our program, but it was softball and some of the other ones. And that's what Wildcat Nation should be all about, right? Is reaching out to our community members and letting them know that we've got a really good thing going with a lot of quality student athletes that someday will be our leaders, in the community. And we bring them in, locally, regionally. We even bring some guys from outer region in, and some of those individuals stick around and stay in the region and become, employed, parents, and then families and grow within the community. So we always try to, follow that mission of our college. I think that we need to follow some of that too, is produce, quality members of society in our region for the workforce and the communities of this area, which is so special. And we get to kind of show that off. I think a lot of people from outside just think we live in a tundra, and once we get them here, you see, all that it has to offer with the seasons and the people and the fellowship and community support. Those things are really important to me in this program. I think this institution.
Oh, it's great to hear. Well, anything else you'd like to add, Coach?
No, I just want to thank Snap Fitness. I know the Fobs are great supporters, and really appreciate them always being there on game day. And I just want to thank the community and hope you come out for homecoming on Saturday at 1:30.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And before we wrap up the show, a quick Snap Fitness schedule reminder for all the upcoming stuff we got coming the next 7 days for local sports. We'll start off with today. Breckenridge football hosts Roseau at 6 p.m. And once again, that is 6 p.m., not 7 p.m., because Roseau's got quite the drive, so they moved it up an hour. And we'll have that on B92.7 FM. We'll also be live streaming it, KBMW News Live, our YouTube channel. Wapaton football is at Valley City at 7 p.m. We'll have that on KBMW right here, but we will not have a video stream for that one. BW Swimming is also in action today at the Hulbert Aquatic Center. Tomorrow, Breckenridge Volleyball is in a tournament in Barnesville starting up at 9 a.m. And like we talked about earlier, NDSCS football hosts Central Lakes for the final home game of the regular season and homecoming. 1:30 p.m. is the start time for that game. Monday, just BW cross-country teams in action at Stables Motley at 4 p.m. Wapaton Volleyball, Breckenridge Volleyball, and NDSCS Volleyball all in action on Tuesday. Wapaton Volleyball is at West Fargo at 7 p.m. NDSCS Volleyball is at Dakota College at Bodno at 7 p.m. And Breckenridge Volleyball hosts Wadena Deer Creek at 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, NDSCS Volleyball is at Williston State College at 7 p.m. And then Thursday, BW Cross Country is at Perham at 3:45 p.m. And Breckenridge Volleyball wraps it up with a home match against Hawley at 7:30 p.m. So that's a Snap schedule reminder for the upcoming week and for today, of course. And now we'll get back to the music after a quick word from our sponsor. Snap Fitness, your locally owned gym in Wapaton, wants to have you join their workout family. Snap offers personal training, and owner Renata Fobb will even write up workout plans for you. If you're an athlete in the Twin Towns, Snap Fitness will help you make sure you're prepared for the upcoming sports season. To all the retired athletes over 65, Snap Fitness participates in the Silver Sneakers Insurance Program, and most major insurances reimburse for memberships to Snap. Stop by Snap Fitness today and ask about their membership packages. They're located at 102 7th Street South in Wapaton.